I created this logo in Adobe Illustrator in just 10 minutes. Now I will show you how you can do the same. Hi, I am Arman. Today I want to share with you a very cool way to create logos. The essence of this method is that we will initially create a grid that will be partially limit your actions. It will not allow you to violate the proportions of your logo and will keep you within framework of geometrically correct forms. But if you consider that now in minimalist logos and geometrically correct logos trends, then I'm sure that this video will be useful to you. Let's get started. In order to use this method, we will need to create a document in Adobe Illustrator. You choose the document size yourself. I usually work with 1000 by 1000 pixels. The color mode is RGB, provided that we will only use this project. Fit it, you are not going to print it. If you only need a logo for printing, choose here SMIC and click Create. First stage is preparing your document on the workspace. Now we need to display the grid and set up snapping to this grid. This is done where simply go to the section view and select the function show grid. Here is the combination that is responsible for displaying the grid using the hotkey on the keyboard, so that you don't constantly climb into this menu, after which you will see such a grid. The only thing that pay attention, you can go to the Illustrator settings in the Mac. They are in the Illustrator preferences section, and in the Windows they will be in the section edit. So pay attention to this, and here you can find the grid ingredients section. These are grids and grid. Here make sure that you have the parameter set to the grid line every 36 pixels. That is so that you have a grid of 36 pixels. Each make sure that these parameters were consistent, so that we had the same result. Go to the view section, and here we activate the snap to grid. The first stage of preparation is completed for us. Congratulations! Now we can do the second stage. We create the very structure of our grid. For this we need to select ellipse tool. But at the same time, with black stroke on point fig, now stretch our cycle, which will occupy 4 squares in total. Now we select the black area. This is the V key. Select our object, press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. This we copy the element and then paste it over the exciting one. I increase this cycle so that it takes up additionally squares. That is, we get it by the junction of these square blocks. Pressing Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V again, stretching it to these squares, throwing the upper right corner, and Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V again. Select the line tool. It is on our left in the toolbar, or slash on the keyboard. Without a fill, a stroke, drag the ruler along this line, which we have marked in darker gray. Then hold down, press the Alt key and move it down to the next intersection of the line. Then, to avoid repeating this every time manually, press a combination of Ctrl+D. We will repeat the last action done. Copy and move the object below. And now we need to make the same lines but vertically moving them controlled that size is the same, and do the same with Alt, moving the lines, and Ctrl+D. The only thing for us to select this form, hold down Alt key and move it all to the right, and you will create such a grid structure with which we will work. When you have finished creating this grid, do not forget that you can move it to the center of the screen for your convenience, and turn off the grid itself so that it does not irritate your eyes. Go to the section view and here select Hide Grid. Second stage is finished. We have already created with you a structure on the basis of which we will assemble our logo. I will show how it all works, and third stage we create the logo itself. Select all the objects that we have. You can stretch the selection, you can press Ctrl A to activate Shift plus M. I will show how it works when you don't have a fill but there is a stroke. You can draw a line, and all the objects that fall under this line will be transformed into solid one, as they are roughly speaking glued together into single form. If you press Alt and draw, you will delete these objects. Now we can assemble some kind of logo shape. Let's say I selected all the objects, press Shift M, so that I have a fill in such a way there is a fill but no stroke, and now I am trying to assemble some interesting shape for the logo. So the first element is ready, and now we already have a whole bunch of options on how we can develop this idea. We can make something like jellyfish, when we drag this line down and at the same time move it to the left, and do the same with right side. Then we just need to select the while arrow, click on first object, hold down the shift key, click on all the other objects we have done together, and while holding down alt key, move them down. After these actions, be sure to check that you do not have any defects. After you have created this logo, you can prepare a presentation for the client. Press the Shift plus O, an artboard appears. An additional work area appears. You can click here on the plus sign, and under the right panel the properties are cut, and new artboard will appear that will be absolutely the same size as the previous ones. Now we move this logo to the right artboard, group in for convenience, and take Ctrl G to increase the size a little and align it relative to the artboard. Next, I want to change the background color to dark. I move it to the bottom bar, use the Ctrl Shift and square bracket, and then make the logo itself, while turn off the stroke and make the fill itself white, and make the fill itself white. If you want, you can add another text component. For example, write jellyfish, set the white color, and then adjust your typeface. Align it to the center and align it relative to the object. Now we make small adjustments to the tracking in the approach between the symbols. Clicking with the active tool text between the symbols is with the Alt key. I can hold down Alt and the arrow keys on the keyboard. You can send the file to the client by pressing the file, then export, and after that export for screens. Here you active only artboard to choose the path for saving, and choose the format in which you will send the file to the client. Visualization, it is better to choose JPEG. Then you choose the scale. Then you choose the scale at which the picture will be displayed. We created ourselves 1000 by 1000 and press export. That's all, friends. If you like our logo, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and we shall meet soon. Bye bye.